Welcome to Biz Lounge, where we'll give you a peek into the minds and souls of some of the greatest Indian business leaders. Now, at some point or another, most of us have probably owned a cell phone made by Nokia. And while there's been a lot of news surrounding the company these days, today we're looking at Shiv Kumar, not just the man who leads Nokia across some 90 countries, but also the guy who enjoys a good book and indulges in a good game of golf. Shiv, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Before we speak to him, let's take a look at some leadership qualities that help Shiv keep his company mobile.
The concept of a leader has changed dramatically in the last few years. I think leadership is no longer standing from a pedestal and saying, I dictate, I order you do this. It doesn't work. I think a lot of people today say, get me to buy into what you're saying. I think the biggest help you get when you engage with people is you get to know bad news much faster than anybody else. I always tell my employees that, bad news is not pickles, it doesn't get better with time. So it's best is put the beast on the table and then we can all resolve it.
My definition of leadership used to be about the number of people who reports to you, the kind of turnovers you handle, the kind of territories you handle. Today I have redefined what leadership is, at least in my own view, which is about your ability to influence and collaborate with people.
What employees look for in leaders today is a recognition that they exist and they're contributing something. And I think it's the leader's job to acknowledge that all the time. And at the end of the day, a title is given by a company. But leadership, that title is given by the people in the company. This is one of my favorite quotes. I'm a great Manchester United fan. And this quote says, at United we strive for perfection, and if we fail, then we might just have to settle for excellence. That's a philosophy I try to imbibe in all the people who work with me, and that's a philosophy I try to hold for myself also. I think as more and more organizations are becoming matrixed, I think the need for deep collaboration and ensuring that you have a leadership style which is not hierarchical, I think that's the kind of style which will win for people in the long run.
Tell us a little bit about your role and some of the markets you're going to be working in.
I'm going to run India, Middle East and Africa. That's a large tract of land. Yeah, it's got a huge number of countries. Africa alone has 55 countries. There are a lot of similarities between India and Africa. Population, they're roughly similar population, 1.3 billion, 1.2 billion. Similar GDP per capita, about 1,100 to 1,200. In terms of telecom, both big prepaid markets, 93 to 95% prepaid markets, low ARPUs, completely open distribution. In terms of consumers, very young cultures. India average age 25-26, Africa average age 23. Africa passions music, movies, football. India passions music, movies, cricket. So there are lots of things which are similar.
So Nokia continues to face challenges in the market, which happened primarily because of your late entry into the dual SIM market and weak contenders to the iPhone and the Android phones. Would you say that Nokia became complacent?
I wouldn't say that. I think the technology sector is a brutal sector where you have to be leading all the time. And some of the things which you try and lead don't work. Some of the things you lead work. For example, we were the first to see the smartphones. Then the touch factor is something which moved beyond us. That's okay. Some you miss, some you gain. We've caught up, and that's what's important.
So Nokia did catch up with the Asha series in the dual SIM market, but is it true that Nokia didn't believe that the dual SIM phone was a necessary addition to its portfolio in India? Is that true?
That's not true. I wouldn't say that. At least I cannot say that, because I remember way back in 2008 when we were just looking at the markets. I had actually thought that triple SIM would be a big thing. Okay, it ended at dual SIM. Okay, and our hypothesis was based on the number of operators who are coming in and the price was which would result. Okay, some of consumers have come to the fact that they don't want a triple SIM phone. A dual SIM is just good enough, and they're happy to carry 6 SIM cards or 5 SIM cards with them.
So why did you choose a Microsoft platform for the Lumia rather than the more popular Android platform, which also has a larger market share?
I think the Nokia board was very clear that we wanted to build a third ecosystem. Okay, the other ecosystems having been in the marketplace already, and the best partnership that we could ensure would be a very strong and let's take good ecosystem was with the Microsoft Windows platform.
The Lumia has gotten some great reviews, but there are a lot of people saying that there's just too much stiff competition with the iPhone and Android devices. So do you think that there's room for this third ecosystem?
You know, the cell phone business has always had stiff competition, not just today. So even if you go back 10 years, okay, you had the Panasonics of this world, you had the Philips of this world, you had the BenQs of this world, you had the Siemens of this world, pretty big companies. Okay, so the cell phone business has always been hyper competitive, okay, and hyper innovative. So I wouldn't say that, you know, today's nature of competition is any more stronger than what it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I think you had the same at a different price point, at a different feature value set.
And keyboards are another thing. A lot of phones are moving away from the keyboard to the touch screen. Do you think that the keyboard could become obsolete?
No, I think the keyboard will have its role. I don't think it will go away. Touch, which you mentioned, is a great point. Touch is a very emotional thing. Now, the funny thing about touch is when somebody touches something, he wants an instant response. So he thinks it's fast. So one, touch is very emotional. Two, he expects speed in it. So I don't think touch will go away, and neither will the form factor of the keyboard. I think they will have their own specific place.
Okay, and with that, we'll take a short break, but when we come back, we'll see the beginnings of Shiv's connecting to people and his competitive spirit, all going back to IIM Calcutta, a place he says helped build the man he is today.